Is anyone else confused by Chapter 5, Season 4? I don't know what it is, but something about it just seems off to me. Like, okay, we know it's gonna be Marvel themed, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. According to the polls on Fortnite GG, Chapter 2 Season 4 was one of the most popular seasons of Fortnite of all time. And that's so ironic because now people are so against collabs, or a lot of people are just tired of the endless bombardment of collabs. So I'm curious to see how far they're going to take this concept. It appears that Doctor Doom is going to be at the forefront of this season. He's going to be the main antagonist moving everything forward, but there's just a few questions that I have before we move into Season 4 that I feel like need to be answered. I think this video will be a good place where we can have a discussion on where we think Season 4 is going to go, because I don't know, it just seems like so out of place compared to everything that we've had so far this chapter. Season 1 was like this whole spy espionage theme, kind of similar to Chapter 4 Season 4. We meet the society, the underground, this war that's going on between them. Jonesy's kind of caught in the middle. They steal his banana, he gets his banana back, and then that leads to Greek gods. So now we have Greek gods on the island, and Zeus is being a douche muffin, and everybody's mad at Zeus, and then eventually we beat Zeus, and that leads us into a giant sandstorm event with Gunner, or Megalodon, as we should say, and he just brings in all these forces into the island with this wanderer guy in the background. It just seems so disjointed. Now we're gonna go from this to Marvel? Now, to be fair, I'm leaving out a lot of details in terms of how the storyline lines up. From seasons 1 through 3, it's made sense so far. However, it's just like these ideas and these themes are so different and so scattered from each other. It's one of the things that keeps me from getting really involved in the Fortnite storyline. And I think that might be my biggest issue when moving into Season 4, because it's like, how is Doctor Doom going to tie into all of this? And more importantly, why the hell should I even care? See, the last couple of times that Marvel characters were prevalent in the Fortnite storyline, it made sense. The first time was because Galactus was approaching and the Zero Point pulled in a bunch of heroes from the Marvel universe to kind of help save us and keep Galactus from eating it. Then because of all the damage we had done to it from the Galactus event all the way up to Chapter 3 Season 2, there were shards of the Zero Point that were scattered all throughout the Marvel 616 universe, so Spider-Man, Jonesy, and a few other people had to go around and collect those and bring them back to Reality Zero. This, of course, was happening in the middle of the war between the Imagined Order and the Seven, and so both sides were recruiting different members of the Marvel universe to be on their team. Now, here's the weird thing. The last time we saw Doctor Doom, he betrayed the Imagined Order, killed Gunner, and then returned to Reality 616 with all these different weapons and technologies that he got from the Ice King's castle. And it was implied that he had plans to return to shape reality in his image or in the way that he saw things fit. That's kind of a main theme of Doctor Doom. He's so egotistical that he thinks that everything should be shaped in his image, or reality should be conformed to the way that he sees fit. Not actually too different from Geno. In fact, their ideologies align. The difference is that Doom thinks that he should be at the center of it instead of Geno. I guess my issue going into Season 4 is wondering what Doctor Doom is actually going to do on the island. Like, it's been alluded to that the Zero Point does exist, but it's been in remission or hiding this entire chapter. It has not been a focal point whatsoever. There's also this weird elephant in the room of time travel, and that's just not being addressed at all. Even though we've done the time travel thing with Reality Zero, the Fortnite island, we've gone back in time, and now we're technically on a Chapter 2 island. That doesn't mean that the Doctor Doom we run into isn't going to have all of his memories. He could remember the fact that he's been on the Fortnite island before, but even if that is the case, who really cares? Because who's he going to interact with? Unless Season 4 brings back a bunch of old characters that had interactions with Doctor Doom, it's going to be very difficult for me to get excited about him being on the Fortnite island. I really just don't see what the point is going to be to bring him back outside of a cash grab from Epic Games. And once again, I'm not mad if they want to have another collab and another Doctor Doom and Fortnite. That's fine. I don't get upset at collabs. It's just the nerd in my mind is thinking about how all of this is going to work from a storytelling standpoint, and I just don't see it. It's not exciting to me or adding up. Finally, from the storyline perspective, I'm sitting here wondering how in the hell is this all going to transition into Fortnite OG Season 2? Now, in my last video, I came up with a really cool theory on how that might be the case, and the only way to me that it makes sense would be time travel. More specifically, going back and forth between two different timelines. I don't really see how we're going to end up on the original Chapter 2 island without some kind of time travel or time distortion plot line. Back in the day, we used to get really big in-game live events that would explain the story and move the plot forward and transition us into the next season. There are logical steps that we could physically see that would take us to the next part of the story. We still get the mini events, which are really cool. However, there's a narrative context that's just missing. We don't get the dialogue, the voice acting, the exposition that kind of explains why things are the way that they are. We just kind of get certain details implied to us through map changes and loading screens. And granted, that's what a lot of us had been asking for some time. However, I feel like the Fortnite storyline is so complex that we can't really just rely on that anymore. There does need to be some narrative explanation, which I guess we're kind of getting through all the different voice line quests, but it just, I don't know, it just feels so off to me. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to think about this. So after you subscribe to the channel, make sure to leave a comment down below and tell me how you think the story is going to move forward narratively, how we're going to get from point A to point B, how we're going to move into this Marvel theme season, what characters you think you're going to see, and also how this is going to tie into Fortnite OG Chapter 2. There's big question marks in my brain. I think the last big thing that I'm curious about is gameplay. I want to know, how far is Fortnite going to push the Marvel narrative? Are we going to have all the old superpowers that we had before, plus a few extra? How many POIs are going to change on the map? How is this going to tie into Fortnitemares? What are they going to do for Fortnitemares? Are the collabs that we're going to get this season going to tie well into the main season theme? That's another thing that kind of throws me off. Like, the collabs that we get towards the end of the season never necessarily fit the main season's theme. Like, for example, this season, Metallica made sense for the first big collab that we would have for season 3. But Pirates of the Caribbean in the second half, I'm not mad at it. The Pirates of the Caribbean, really? It just seems so random. And it's not like it's a bad collab, it's just like it doesn't really fit with what's going on. So next season is mainly going to be themed Marvel, but what else are they going to throw in to kind of just throw us for a loop? Also, I'm really curious to see if they're going to make a collab the big theme for an entire season. If I'm remembering correctly, they haven't done that since the last Marvel theme season. And I'll be honest, even though this theme is one of Fortnite's most popular ever, and I didn't appreciate it really the last time it was here, I don't really know how much I like a collab being the theme for an entire season. I'm not opposed to it, especially if it's executed well. The last time they did it, it was amazing. I was just getting burnt out of Fortnite at that time, but now I'm looking at it, we get so many collabs so often, and just to have superpowers and superheroes be the theme of the entire Fortnite season, I don't know if that's going to captivate me the same way an original idea would. As cool as the collabs are, I like when they assist a season, not take over one. Now, maybe the issue for me could be that it's not a collab I really care that much about. Like, I love Marvel, but I grew up as a DC fan. Shocking based on my name, I know. If this had been a DC season, or maybe even a Transformer theme season, you got different parts of Cybertron on the Fortnite island, or even a Back to the Future theme season, or Terminator, I would probably be head over heels for all of those things and super excited if that was going to be the main season's theme. But Marvel, the remix, God, I don't know, you guys. And listen, I'm going to make this very clear. I'm not saying that it's going to suck. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying I like Fortnite's original ideas more so than I like them relying on a collab for the theme of an entire season. I don't know. It just feels so weird to me that we're doing the Marvel thing all over again. And I guess maybe it bugs me a little bit because I know in the grand scheme of the Fortnite storyline and what Fortnite does, it doesn't mean anything. And granted, you could argue that about any Fortnite season, but I guess the difference is that, like, anytime Fortnite brings in a collab like this and makes it the theme of the entire season, it has a tremendous effect on the story narratively. But I know that after season 4, it's not going to even matter because none of these characters are going to be mentioned again. That's why it's always more entertaining and more interesting when Epic or Fortnite looks at their own IPs and their own characters that they've made and makes interesting stories around them, and then makes that the theme for the season rather than making it the collab, because once we go into OG, there will be no mention of Dr. Doom and anything that he did to affect the Fortnite island. Also, there's that whole thing with the Wanderer being in the background and the Wanderer being Dr. Doom, and all that also doesn't make sense to me. Dr. Doom is not going to be sitting around as a wispy cloud on the island just walking around trying to terrify people. That's not Dr. Doom's style. Watch me be wrong and the Wanderer actually end up being Dr. Doom or Geno. I quit. If that happens, I quit. I'm not doing it anymore. Anyway, guys, I love y'all. I got a lot of content that I got to get done this week before I go to LA. I'll be gone up until I think Wednesday of next week. So I got 2 or 3 more videos I got planned. I'm going to try to get done for you before then. Depends on how much time I get freed up over the next few days. I'll keep y'all updated in the Discord. Hit the link in the pinned comment down below. Join the Discord. Become a part of the family. No one that's ever joined the Discord has regretted it unless they've been banned. Anyway, guys, I love y'all. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.